Hello, so today we'll talk about lore of the Mesa biome and the Wither. So if you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do, join my Discord server, and now let's get started. Okay, so we start with Chisel Stones. The Chisel Stones are rocks that are chiseled, and each one of them represents a story. Each of them represents something from the history. The chisel stone brick from the oceans, it shows a symbol similar to the conduit. The nether brick show the wither skull. The black stone shows the piglin nose. The the sandstone shows a creeper face, probably representing the TNT and sand relation to the desert. But however, the red sandstone of the mesa biome, it shows a wither, which is extremely mysterious. But today we'll break down this mystery. Okay, so let's get started. What's the difference between a regular desert and of course a mesa biome? There's a difference in the color of sand, and there's a difference in the type of rock. We find clay in the mesa. Now, how is the clay formed? A clay is For the formation of clay, it requires firstly sand requires to get sand requires to get withered by the nature, eroded, and it also needs moisture in some form in order for clay to form. And how can moisture be formed in a dead and deserted biome? What could have caused the clay formation? Well, I'll show you. And right there, as you can see, it's talking about the wither. So when the wither spawns, the skylight level drops to 11, and dark clouds appear from the moment the wither spawn until it's dead. Read it again carefully. The skylight level drops to 11, dark clouds appear until it's dead. Until it's dead. So, what does that mean? That means that at some point a wither was spawned into the mesa biome, causing the atmosphere to turn all cloudy, cold, moisturous, possibly rainy, and of course, the withering of the wither is enough for the erosion combined with the change in the weather, which is a pretty solid evidence for the clay formation that we see in the mesa. But now the question is, why did the wither spawn in the mesa? Out of all the places in the world, why does it have to be specifically the mesa biome? Well, I'll tell you, I have a great reason. So, you see, wither needs wither skeleton to spawn, and if you have seen my previous lore videos, you would know that piglins were the only race uh, that had that had that had enchantments that could boost them in the Soul Valley, so that attracted them to the Soul Valley so they could travel faster, and they are the only mobs hostile to the wither skeleton, which gives them a chance to obtain the wither skull, and those two factors combined show us that piglins were capable of spawning withers. But now another question is, why would they even come specifically to this place in Overworld? And why would they come in the Overworld in the first place? So there's a reasoning for that. See, before the zombie infection, before the Overworld was infected, this was Piglin's home. Piglins used to live in the Overworld, or maybe they used to visit here very often. But now you would ask, why exactly would they come to specifically this place? Well, the reason is right below my foot. Yes, you see, mesobiome is abundant in gold, and it's not really mesobiome. You could say there was places abundant in gold that piglins visited, and they used to mine here, they used to gather gold here. But one simple mistake caused this, the, caused the mesobiome, you could say. Now, okay, another thing is that, let's see, I'll show you guys. Okay, so the next thing I want to point out is about the desert temples. The orange symbols on the outside is the ancient Egyptian symbol for life, an ankh. And how is that any meaningful? Why is there an ankh symbol, a symbol of life, right at on the desert temple? Well, you see, the desert temple has a room that is, well, exactly the size of a beacon, so that the beacon can be fitted, and there's a trap right below the beacon so that no one can possibly steal it. But how is that any useful information? Why would there be desert temples in desert when the piglins used to mine gold in Mesa? Well, you see, there are only two biomes that have sand on land. That's the Mesa and the desert. And what I think is all the mesas used to be desert, and deserts used to be abundant in gold, which gold was extracted by piglins in the desert. This piglins maybe successfully killed the wither in the desert, but failed in the mesa, which caused this difference. And when they successfully killed the wither in the desert biomes, they used to build a beacon to boost their mining progress. And this is the exact reason. Now, you would ask, where did the beacons go then? Well, I definitely don't know that. But I could say that there's another factor that I want to tell you. It's that hmm, the evidence of beacon is pretty solid because the ankh, as you said, is a symbol of life. And what does it say? That it was given, it represents their power to sustain life and to revive human souls in the afterlife. To revive human souls in the afterlife. So there was something about the beacon, there was some powers in the beacon that could have potentially uh, that that had something to do with longer life and revival. Well, you see, beacons do give regeneration, but that's not what I think it is. Maybe there's something more, but we certainly don't know. Maybe someday we'll find out. But until then, yeah, this is the story of Piglins. This is the story of the Mesobiome. This is the story of withers, and how withers are responsible for the mesabiomes we see today. So that's it for today, and see you next time.